God, I knew niggas was gonna do this shit. All right, bro. I want to skim through it though. I want to skim through it. I really do. Wait, what is it? The final message? Hold on. Oh my God, it's actually an hour. Oh boy. All right, I want to hear it.
I was thinking for a long time.
You know what? Regardless of what y'all say, this nigga is bald. Regardless of what y'all say, I do want to hear it. I want to hear what he about to say.
Video.
I do. I don't care what
because
you say.
It needs to be
it.
concise and compendious.
I'm not gonna watch the whole thing though. I
very,
can't. I don't think I can watch the whole thing. I can't.
And I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. There's been many different versions of my life story, which have been put on the internet as of late and from many years ago.
I hear that.
But I'm going to give a very, very quick overview of my story.
It do not look like it's about to be quick, but okay.
My life has always been difficult. I've certainly had a difficult life. I preach to the people who follow me that as a man, trauma and difficulty is extremely important because it's the building blocks for mental fortitude and physical fortitude.
Does he mean?
So I'm very, very happy that my life is.
Does he mean that it's important because you need to get help from those things, or does he mean it's important because he thinks that that makes you grow as a person?
Been difficult because it's impossible.
I think both of those things can be true. I don't think you have to be like, you know what? You need to have trauma in your life to be a decent, to grow up to be a strong person with fortitude. You can also get therapy for those things too. You can also get therapy for those things, brother. Get some help. I think that's a good idea.
Become a capable man or a man of my capability without struggling with facing serious adversities.
Okay.
Without trying to overcome often insurmountable odds. I grew up in South Side of Chicago. I'm obviously a person of color. I
obviously
was bullied in school to a degree.
No.
And my father always taught me to stick up for myself. I was never allowed to run and cry to authority.
Okay.
I was told that if someone wants to mess with you or come at you, you can't always go tell the teacher. Sometimes you have to deal with it. I was actually
is this the villain origin story?
Picked on by these two kids when I was riding the school bus home. I think I was.
Well, now I want to hear the story. I'm sorry. I want to hear the story.
They were a bit older than me, and they used to pick on me on the school bus. They'd sit behind me, throw things at me, hit me, etc. And I came home and I told my dad about it. I said, Dad, these two kids are picking on me every single time I get the school bus. I don't know what to do. And my dad said, I'm not going to call the teacher because the teacher ain't on the bus. And I'm not going to call the school bus driver because they're busy driving. Son, if you want to deal with this, you're going to have to deal with it yourself. And I said, but Dad, they're bigger than me. What do you want me to do? There's two of them and they're bigger than me. And at the time, I'd just come home from school and I was holding a lunchbox. And my dad pointed and said, you have a lunchbox, son? Teach them. So weeks had passed. It was a few weeks. They kept picking on me, and I felt myself sitting there getting more insecure, and the rage was boiling inside of me. And one day, one of them slapped me in the side of the face.
I thought you were about to say, one day I got a gun.
From behind, I was sitting on the chair. He slapped me in the face from behind. And instantly, I don't know what it was, but this was the day I had enough, and I turned with my lunchbox and swung it over the back of the school bus chair and caught him and busted his eye clean open. The plastic Batman lunchbox hit him in the eye, and blood started squirting everywhere.
See, the thing about this, which is crazy, sometimes, you think it's just going to all right, I just beat the nigga ass because he was fucking with me. All right. But here's the thing, though. Don't worry about the edits. The only issue with what he's saying right now, it's fine to stand up for yourself and everything like that, but I feel like this is how school shooters end up getting created because nobody tells them the best way to do it.
Like Shawn.
Wow, what the fuck? I feel like nobody tells them the best way to do it. Like, you're just saying that once you get fed up enough and you get angry enough, anything you do is justifiable after that. You hit a kid in the face with a lunchbox, which most people will look at and be like, you know what, that's justifiable because he deserved it because he was fucking with you. He's picking with you. But like, how do you tell a new kid what's too far? How do you explain to them it's not just defending yourself? It's kind of like the way you do it too. How do you tell them when they about to do too much?
All the children started screaming.
He a kid, basically.
And
He
as I
a
did
child.
this, the bus had just come up to a stop. It was a few stops before my stop, but it had stopped. And as the bus stopped and the screaming happened, I just got up and I ran and I just ran off the bus and ran home. I've never run so fast.
This happened in the south side of Chicago? Word?
Or so far in my life. I was full of adrenaline.
You made a kid you bust a kid eye open in the south side of Chicago. Niggas splurting all crazy types of fluids. And you just ran off the bus?
Ran. When I got home, I had blood on my clothes and my dad looked at me. He said, what happened? And I said, that kid, I won't say his name. I said his name at the time. I said, that kid, he hit me in the face and I had enough of getting hit in the face. And I was still holding the lunchbox, but it was all smashed up where I'd hit him with it. And my dad kind of smiled a little bit and said, don't worry, son, get in the car. We got in the car and we went to Walmart. We walked up and down the aisle and he looked and picked up another lunchbox, an exact replica of the same blue Batman lunchbox, gave it to me and said, I'll buy you as many of these as you need. And that was the last we spoke of it. Funnily enough, I never saw that kid again. I don't know if he changed schools.
Nigga died.
But I never saw that child again.
Go.
So, even from a very, very young age, I was taught that going to authority and crying and hoping someone else is going to fix your problems.
Nigga, they still looking for you. That was a 28-year-old murder.
When I left
Chicago,
I moved to Luton, England, which was multiple times voted the worst town in England. It's a high crime rate. It's a very bad area. My mother and father broke up, so I was in a single mother household. And now I'm a person of color in a single mother household. I'm also the only American at the time in Luton. And I had, again, repeat problems in school. I was picked on for being the only American. I was picked on for not knowing things I should have known because I hadn't been through the English educational system. I'd been through the American educational system.
Okay.
And I had trouble in school again, but I stuck up for myself. Unfortunately, nothing got violent at any point. But when people made fun of me, I stood up and said, listen, don't make fun of me. I'm from a different place, and I talk differently. And I always understood that standing up for yourself, I never went to the teacher, I never cried to anybody else. I just stood up for myself. And over time, people learned respect for me and my boundaries, and they were very respectful of me. And I had a very positive experience from then on out in school by simply standing up for myself, because this is how I was taught to act. In high school, I ended up having a reputation of a guy that nobody really messed with. I certainly wasn't a bully, absolutely the opposite, but no one really picked on me. I actually had a friend in school who was gay. I had 5 main friends in school, and I was also friends with a gay guy. And he would make fun of me
don't do this.
for being American. And I would make fun of him for being gay back then. But the world was a very, very different place. This is many, many years ago. And we had friends.
There you go, chat. Whenever, I'm assuming he's at least 30. Being gay is the same. Bro, I'm American, so I know where you coming from. Nigga said, we the same, my nigga.
Friendly banter back and forth. But we were very good friends.
Oh,
and I
my
stuck
God,
up
that's
for him
funny.
and prevented anyone else picking on him
all
of the time.
Nice.
And the banter between us, the locker room talk,
Nigga said he killed the gay
which
guy.
would be considered absolutely unacceptable today, at the time was very, very normal. And we had a great time. We were good friends.
Okay.
And I heard from him, actually, after this ban. And he said, you should mention the fact that the things they say about you completely aren't true. And this leads me on to
So he wanted to be your token.
These narratives have managed to gain such a foothold in popular consciousness. Due to the fact I've managed to develop an iron mind, because I'm probably the only individual on earth who can be vilified to this level without taking personal insult and without being emotionally affected.
Nigga, I've seen you literally scream at niggas. I just saw you go crazy on KSI just because he said, I'm glad you got banned. That's not emotional?
What I have done is I've allowed certain narratives to gain traction, which I shouldn't have allowed to gain traction, because they didn't personally bother me, because I know they are false. I live with a very, very pure heart. I'm a religious man. I go to church, and anyone who follows me in detail knows
Oh
I
God, the
donate
piano
sums
came
of
out.
money to the church. And as long as I knew the truth of my heart and God knew the truth of my heart, I wasn't interested in lies being purported. I now understand that that's wrong, because even though I've done nothing wrong, even though it doesn't emotionally affect me, even though God and myself know my innocence, The public consciousness has been polluted to a point where narratives are being purported which are absolutely and utterly false.
I don't get why these alpha male niggas, I don't get why they are obsessed with trying to force people to believe that they're not emotionally affected by anything. Me, if I wanted to be a high value man, if I wanted to be perceived as the top dog, the top G, if I wanted to be perceived as that, I would tell people that I'm sensitive as fuck. But I know how to regulate my emotions to a point where that doesn't affect my judgment. Why don't you tell people that, yeah, I get emotional all the time, but I regulate it in a way that puts me on a different path than most people? That would make you a better human being, to acknowledge those things. Why are you pretending they don't exist? Because I see you lash out at niggas. It's crazy.
And it's having a genuine negative impact on the people who I care about and the people who care about me. And despite the fact it doesn't emotionally affect me, as a man, I have a duty to protect all of those I love. And for this reason, these narratives have started to become very, very harmful. I was on the understanding that on the internet, people don't like you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you say. There's going to be some people who don't like you, and the people who don't like you are not interested in the truth. What they are interested in is finding some lie that they can latch onto and accelerating that lie.
I agree with him on that, but I don't think it has to be a lie. It could just be finding anything to, you know what I'm saying, to latch onto, just to, justify their disdain towards you.
On as much as possible via their platforms to try and paint a negative picture of you because they don't like you.
But I don't think no one's painting a negative picture. Like, you're doing a good enough job of that on your own.
A lot of these attacks.
I haven't heard anything that was lies about Andrew Tate outside of the clips where he's talking the crazy shit that he be talking sometimes.
Against me are disguised under the virtue of caring about women. But none of these people who are attacking me care about women. None of them donate to women's charities. None of them donate to charity like I do. None of them help anybody like I do. I'm about to show later on in this video proof of the massive work I do for helping people. They don't help anybody. All they do is just attack me and use fake virtue, the fact they pretend to care, as a reason to attack somebody who they personally don't like.
Okay, that could be true. I don't even know if it's because you could justify, I don't think you could confirm whether or not they personally like or dislike these people, but I do think that both those things could be true. They could genuinely care about those people that they're talking about, and you could be providing financial aid for those people. I mean, why can't both of those things be true? Why does one have to be a lie? Do you care any less because you donate money and you don't have the proper verbiage to speak about their issues that you claim to want to fund? Because these people can't fund it, that means they don't care. Because you can, that means you do. I don't understand. Why can't those both just be true?
And it's very, very different to actually care about an issue or weaponize an issue and pretend to care to try and damage someone else's life. These are very, very different things. Okay. And this is the reason why I have not tried to dispel these myths as hard as I could have, because I understood that these people are always going to hate me and they're always going to lie about me, no matter what I say or do. But considering in light of the final ban, and considering I have the public consciousness, I think it's extremely important that for myself and for my family and for people I care about, that I tell the truth and I make the truth known to the world, because that is the only intention in my video, is to sit and tell the truth. And the fact that I'm a very, very iron-minded individual who's negatively affected by these smear campaigns is not reason enough for me not to sit, take time, and dispel all the negative things which are said about me.
Oh, bro,
I am fully aware
that
not everybody is going to agree with what I say.
Okay.
I don't think there's a person on the planet you can find who has a 100% approval rate. There's always going to be somebody who disagrees with what you say.
Yeah, sure.
If I said the earth was round, there would be a contingent of individuals on the planet who disagree with me. I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I have no problem with being seen as controversial for some of the things I've said. However, I do have two significant problems I would like to address.
Okay, what?
The first is I do not like absolute and utter lies being told about me.
You said that.
I do not like having long-form video of me cut up, elements taken out of context, the tonality of the joke removed, and purporting an image of me that is not true. That's something I do not like. I do not like false accusations of criminal activity. That's another thing that I really do not like.
Most people don't.
I am totally aware that not everybody is going to like me. I have no problems with that.
Okay.
I think anyone who decides to get big on the internet needs to be very, very prepared for a contingent of people to not be happy with what they say. I could make a YouTube channel dedicated to the fact that I believe the world is round, and there would be a large or semi-large proportion of people who would disagree with me. I don't think there's a single creator online that has a 100% approval rate.
Okay.
I have a lot of people who love what I say. I have a lot of fans. A lot of people are dedicated to my channel, and I have a lot of positivity online. And I have a small contingent of people who are very, very offended by what I say. We often talk about, in the modern world, the inclusivity of different cultures, different ways of life, different sexual orientations, and how we need to be tolerant and understanding of all these different people's life paths.
Bro, I'm trying to be tolerant and understanding of you repeating yourself. Can we just...
And by extension, there are different ways of viewing the world. I'm a unique individual, as is everybody else. And I have a unique life path that has led me to unique points of view.
Right.
I think that all of the people who disagree with me are very, very welcome to disagree with me because they have had a unique life path and a different point of view. And I respect that.
Bro, no shit.
I would never shout for any of the people who disagree with anything I say to be silenced or canceled. Because I don't think that helps the world. I think that discourse...
Okay, yeah, you're right. Let me save some of my life force. Oh my God, I captioned it. Fuck. Maybe I could 1.5 it.
It's going to be the way that we lead ourselves to the truth. And if anybody has anything contrary to say about any of my points of view, I welcome it. I like to hear it. And as long as it's in a respectful and adult manner, I often platform it on my platforms as much as possible so I can sit and discuss and I can learn things. Because if I have a point...
What does he mean by his platform? Does he have like a... He might be talking a little too fast. What does he mean by his platform? I thought he didn't have social media accounts. So who is he platforming?
View and someone challenges it in a very adult, correct, logical way, very often I've changed my point of view. And this has been really, really good for me as a person to grow and for the audience to grow. And I know I've changed many other people's minds when they've come to debate with me. And this is the beauty of being human. So I have no problem with being disliked. I do have a problem with a few things. I have a problem with long format things I've said being taken out of context.
Bro, okay. God damn, you just said that.
Taking a small clip from a 2-hour piece of video, then with careful editing, removing of tonality, and changing my intention behind the words, painting me to be a criminal or a bad person when I am not. I do have a problem with false criminal accusations when I do not have a criminal record, and I have never had a criminal record in any country on the planet. I do have a problem with this. And also I have a problem with the fact that social media has changed so much in modern times. A lot of the things I said that are being used against me were said 5 or 6 years ago in long format video. And as of late, with TikTok, with YouTube Shorts, with Instagram Reels, it's very, very easy to take 2 hours of video, snip out 10 seconds, edit it up quickly. This is something that I can't control. I became the most Googled man on the planet, and to a degree, I understand why they're doing that. They're doing that because they want the views for themselves.
Oh my God.
Based on videos I have never even made. That I've now become the #1 villain of Earth, and I truly believe that's unjust. And I want to discuss that here and prove to the world in my final message that I am not any of the things I've been accused of. Regardless,
see, you're not getting me like the last guy got me.
Remain on social media is completely aside the point. This is just a matter of clearing the air while I have the national consciousness. I was massively a victim of my own success. I decided to accelerate my public persona and presence about 6 months ago. And I was massively successful. I became the most Googled man on the planet. I am, by the metrics of the internet, the most famous individual who is currently alive in the world today. That comes with a bunch of advantages and disadvantages. We can go into those at depth. The disadvantages are safety aspects, safety concerns, which we're going to talk about a bit later. I've had serious threats on my life. I receive over 5,000 death threats per day. So do people who I love and people I care about. They also receive death threats. The social media companies have yet to take action against this. They were uninterested in trying to police this in any form.
Bro, come on.
The advantages are, of course, is that I have a massive effect on people. And I have had thousands of emails from men saying, "You've saved me from depression. You've saved me from suicide."
Okay, yes, this is what I want to hear. What are you talking about?
The #1 video on my YouTube channel, my pinned video, has been for over a year. Mind hacks, how to beat depression, how to feel better as a man. Sitting there believing that depression is some monster from the sky that strikes your brain and now you have no control over and you must take pills every day is the absolute enemy to a G mindset.
Okay. I didn't know this was your fucking advice. Nigga just said, pretend it's not there. Fuck, nigga. What's wrong with you? You depressed? Nigga, put them fucking pills down. What's wrong with you? Get in the gym. Join Hustlers University.
I don't give a fuck how depressing my situation. The only person who can change it is me. The only person who can change how I feel about my situation or try and affect the situation directly is me. Even if you put me in a situation I can't change, if you put me
I feel like you weren't depressed then. You were just stressed out, bro.
in jail and I'm depressed because I'm in jail, I still refuse to succumb to depression.
Nah,
I
no
refuse
way.
to collapse mentally and give up. I know the only person who can control my mind is me. Nobody's coming to save me.
As a man who's been through something
That was your example? Whose life did you just save with that?
life, I think I have a very intimate understanding of difficulty and how to grow as a man and how to become the kind of man that can handle a difficult life, because this has been my life path. This is what God chose for me. And this is what I've been teaching. And I have affected positively millions of people, and I'm immensely proud of that. I truly am. However, people couldn't stop talking about me. And when people were talking about me, they weren't doing it out of love for me. They weren't doing it because they cared about me. The main reason people were talking about me so extensively is because they cared about their own channels, their own views. They wanted their own clicks.
Yes, my guy, you understand how business works. There is an incentive for you to be brought on, for you to be spoken to, for you to be communicated with. I know this might be a crazy concept, but the niggas who are interviewing you, who have you on podcasts, who want you to show up to their shows, no, they don't know you and they don't give a shit about you. But guess what? They can make money off of you. I'm sure you don't care about every nigga that signs up for Hustler University, but guess what? You can make money off them. It's crazy how business works.
And they understood that if they can make a YouTube video purporting a lie about me or saying bad things about me, it's more likely to get clicked. It's more likely to get watched. It's
That's not true. That's not true.
more likely to get shared. Expose Andrew Tate is the
You just said you got popular because of the shit that you were saying in the beginning. The lies didn't start until people decided that they didn't like you. You were already popping at that point. So what's the truth? Is the lie getting more views, or are people that love you getting more views? I think it's people who love you. And it don't matter. You just said you was the most famous person in the world. You just said you were the most Googled.
this. Expose Andrew Tate is that. And what's happened is people, through their own selfish desires of trying to piggyback off the back of my massive fame and becoming the most famous man on the planet, have decided that making a bunch of negative videos is a fantastic way for them to personally gain clout and personally gain
Who's done
views,
that?
which is what the internet is about. And we ended up in a situation where videos of me from long ago are being taken out of context purposefully to try and purport a narrative which is not true, because people understand that's a very easy way for them to gain some clout and leech off of my success. That's all fine. Like I said, I have no problem with people disagreeing with me, being disliked, etc. However, when it has an effect to this magnitude, where I am genuinely seen as a negative, bad influence on the world, when all of the emails I receive from people who watch me
Not the
are positive,
emails.
saying that I'm helping people, how I've helped their mind, I've cured their depression, it's really strange to experience such a disconnect. To have 98% of the people who email you say how fantastic you are and how much you helped them, and then 2% of unknowns threatening your life. And then everyone I meet on the street saying such amazing things. Since I've become the most famous man on the planet, I have never once had a negative experience in real life. Everybody who meets me is very respectful, a fan, we take pictures, we shake hands. Nobody has screamed at me in public.
Yes, because 9 times out of 10, if you meet somebody in public, they're not critically thinking about every little thing that you say. They're like, this dude made me laugh one time. I saw him in public. Let me get a picture. It's nothing deeper than that. They take the interaction and they go. They're not reading think pieces on the internet. Oh my God, why Andrew Tate is wrong? Why Andrew Tate is this? Why Andrew Tate is that? They don't give a fuck. You're entertaining to them. That's how it goes. You think niggas who want to go and wait in the line for Kodak Black to see him perform, you think they're watching YouTube videos? Why what Kodak Black did was problematic? Nobody give a fuck about that. They don't care. Why are you acting like they're supposed to? Well, I mean, it would be kind of, we would be in a different world if the niggas that you met in real life. Never mind, bro. We just be in a different world if the niggas that you met meet in real life were on some like super deep, like introspective, philosophical, let me research every person that I find entertaining or that I'm entertained by. Like, we be in a different world, bro.
Nobody's come up to me and called me names in public.
It's
Nobody's
very
said I'm
difficult to get
wrong.
a
I've
negative
been to 20
interaction, bro.
countries.
Stop.
I've never had a single negative in-person experience ever.
You're not
So
going
people
to,
love
most
it.
likely.
At the same time, the media is saying I'm hated. It's a very strange disconnect that I've been experiencing. And a lot of that has been purported and accelerated by the fact that people are trying to gain views on their own channels, separate to me, nothing to do with me, by accelerating lies. It's also an interesting case study into internet mass hysteria, right? If 50 videos come out saying Tate's a bad guy, it takes a lot of bravery for someone to come out and say Tate's not a bad guy, despite the evidence. I can show evidence to the contrary of these negative narratives for the end of time. But if somebody can see, if a YouTube creator or a content creator can see, if you make a negative video about Tate, you get a bunch of clicks, and everyone else did it, well, then I may as well do it. They don't sit there and go, what about Andrew? What about the truth of this? What about the effect on his life? What about the effect on his experience of the world? That doesn't come into consideration. What comes into consideration is, everyone else did this and got a bunch of views, I want a bunch of views. And even though what they're saying is false, even though some of them know it's false, some of them may not, but the ones who are well-researched know it's a lie.
I feel like this video could have been started off with him telling us why, or what has happened personally that has led to the negative experience, what these lies have done to him personally. But we don't get any of that. We just get more of like, okay, well, I don't know. We may get more of it, but I feel like you should have started with that. Your lies have affected my personal life in this way, and this is why that is wrong. But for you to kind of pussyfoot around it or beat around the bush this long, it's like, what happened? What did they do? What did the lies do?
It's very, very tempting
Just tell me
to sit
that.
there and do it anyway, because there's no repercussion. There's no downside to them. All that's going to happen is they're going to get a bunch of clicks, a bunch of views, a bunch of comments, a lot of people defending me because they know it's not true, a lot of people agreeing with them who are less researched. They're going to completely benefit, and the only person who's going to suffer is me. And because I have an iron mind and I wasn't emotionally affected by this, and I understood the nature of the internet, I didn't try to combat it too hard. I didn't know exactly what I should do, because I had already told the truth on repeat many, many, many times, but nobody would acknowledge it. They would just ignore it because it got more clicks to purport the lies. So I thought, that's the nature of the internet. I've never been this famous before. I guess that's just how it goes. Unfortunately, now public consciousness, via the media, has genuinely bought into a construct that people believe I'm somehow dangerous, when all I have done is save people from depression. We talk about men's mental health. Patty Pimblett just fought and talk about if you have trouble with men's mental health, come forward.
As I said, women talk to each other.
Shawn, this could be us, but you playing Sweet 56 Kiss.
Chill.
Men don't, lad. Men feel like, oh, I can't go and say that to him because he'll think I'm a little mushroom. You know what I mean? That's what men think. But as I said in the cage, I'd much rather my friend come to me and speak to me and cry on my shoulder than me have to cry when I'm carrying his coffin a week later.
I just want.
Hold on. Let me go back. Because this nigga.
Patty Pimblett just fought and talk about if you have trouble with men's mental health, come forward.
As I said, women talk to each other. There's no stigma on women. They sit around and have a cup of tea and have a jangle.
True that.
Men don't, lad. Men feel like, oh, I can't go and say that to him because he'll think I'm a little mushroom. You know what I mean? That's what men think. But as I said in the cage, I'd much rather my friend come to me and speak to me and cry.
How can Andrew Tate use this as an example while at the same time telling the dude that said that he was depressed, it's your fault if you're depressed?
We need to go back to the
This is on you.
retention videos.
I would love to, but he just told that dude, it's on you if you're depressed. How do you get to a point where it's like, I don't feel vulnerable around this group of people, but the person that I'm going to go talk to my issue about is going to basically tell me that it's my fault and I need to get over myself. And I just need to push it down and focus on something else. That's the advice that he said that he gave to a guy. Why are you citing this as if this is the same level of understanding that you have? I don't understand.
Cry on my shoulder than me have to cry when I'm carrying his coffin a week later.
I don't get how we get to this conclusion. I don't get it, man.
Show the world that if mental health would bring somebody as big as me and as strong as me and, you know, the stereotype heavyweight champion of the world to my knees, then it could bring anybody to the knees.
Tyson
To me knees.
Fury talk about it. I talk about it. Everyone tries to talk about it. And everyone says, men, you should talk more. Talk to us. I try and encourage men to be strong. I say, listen, if you're depressed, you need to get in the gym. A strong body is a strong mind. I sit there, and by using my lifestyle, which is an aspirational lifestyle that most men...
I do agree. Wait, I will concede. I will concede. There are certain, even though I think it's a very, 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 very small part of recovering from that type of stuff, I do think it is important, regardless of how you feel, to, as best you can, maintain some level of exercise and decent diet. I'll say that. I don't think that that's your cure. And I know a lot of the time that kind of leads to people even having depression in the first place. I have depression, so I'm unable to work out, or I have depression, so this is why I'm eating shitty all the time. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But if you can, as best you can, that can help, you know. But it's not a cure.
Love to have, purely because of the finance, the cars, the freedom, etc. I encourage people to work hard and try their best to become the best version of themselves. And men are encouraged to talk and open up, but when I talk and open up and get massive influence and start helping people, they're going to silence me. I have been nothing but a net positive for the world. That's truly how I view myself, and that's absolutely not really the truth.
Okay, you know that's what do they call that? That's disingenuous, because you're not opening up in a therapeutic way. You're opening up the cesspool of insane thoughts that have been lingering around your mind about women for a long time, and about men. You don't want niggas to be emotional. You don't want them to be like, you know what I'm saying, open and transparent, because you gonna call them a bitch. You gonna say they're not the top G.
Truth. However, I am very understanding of a changing social media landscape, and I'm also very understanding of my fame changing, and by extension, I have some responsibility to bear. I am a man who believes that he is responsible for everything. I think as a man, you should take complete responsibility for your entire reality. It doesn't matter if I'm struck by lightning. That is my fault. That's who I am as an individual.
Damn. So your son get hit by a stray bullet, minding his own motherfucking business. What the fuck was you doing? Fuck wrong with you? You didn't catch it? This nigga actually said if he gets struck by lightning, it's his fault. Only reason it would be your fault is if you walking around in the middle of the fucking rain. And in that case, you just a dumbass nigga, bro. You just dumb as fuck. I'm sorry. Unless you homeless and you get struck by lightning, that was your dumbass fault. I don't know why you walking around. It's heavy ass rain outside. It's a fucking tornado outside. You like, oh my God, how'd that happen? Yeah, obviously. But if it's a bright sunny day, you get struck by lightning, bro. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. How you gonna say that and then at the same time be like, oh yeah, I support men coming forward about their mental health issues? Actually, you know what? No, you fucking idiot. Everything's your fault.
Keys to success: to never blame luck, to never blame anybody else, to only blame myself. So despite everything I've just said, I still blame myself. And because my rise has been so meteoric, because I've become so famous so quickly, and because I've been producing content for so long, even though I take absolute responsibility, I'm in a difficult scenario where videos that were made 5 or 6 years ago in long form are now being cut into 5 seconds, accelerated and purported now in line with my new line fame. I can't stop that happening. But I also understand I have a degree of responsibility, right? Because I'm the most influential person on the planet. So my responsibility is to make sure that any kind of negative connotations in my messaging are removed. I want to stick to my message. I don't want to backtrack. I still want to champion men's issues. I still want to champion physical and mental strength. I still want to champion the protection of women.
That is the
I still want to do that. However, I must be
time.
ultra aware of how I do that, because it would be unprofessional of me as a man to sit and say that my messaging does not have to change in line with my fame. The way you can say things in a video that gets 500 views is very different than the way you can say things in a video that gets 500 million views or 50 million views. You have to change your messaging. The more people you reach, the more important it is that people do not take your things out of context, right? If 0.1% of people misunderstand you on a 500-person video, that will not have a large effect on the world. But if 0.1% of people misunderstand you on a video that has 50 million views, now you start to affect the world in a negative way. So I have to be very, very, very careful in line with my newfound fame. And it's difficult, because in the world I'm in, if I sit down and do a 3-hour podcast.
My guy, you are victimizing yourself because you have to think. You don't get to just endlessly stream the bullshit that comes to your brain. You actually have to go through a filtering process where it's like, you know what? How can I describe what is going on in my mind in a way that most people can interpret the best way humanly possible? That doesn't mean that I'm not going to offend anyone, but I want to articulate it in a way where the priority of what I'm about to say, I don't care.
It's my job to be
He don't care.
And I want to give exciting
You're mad because you have to think?
I think the reason people follow me is because I have a very firm understanding of the English language, a very good grasp of the way to construct sentences, how to be motivating, how to be compelling. And I do that on purpose. But it's also very difficult for me, regardless of my intellect, to now sit at a podcast, be interesting, be exciting, give a compendious and concise answer, at the same time be wary that in my 1-minute answer at any point, 6 seconds worth of it can be taken, snipped, used against me, and weaponized. I don't know if my mind can handle all those tasks at once. It's not very often I'm stumped, but that is becoming extremely difficult. And I'm sitting here thinking I've been offered massive podcasts by the biggest podcasts in the world. And I'm thinking, how can I answer questions? How can I be a responsible adult, because that's what I am. How can I be a professional, take responsibility for my level of fame, to make sure that nothing can be taken out of context, but still tell my truth and still answer the questions, but construct my sentences in a way where they can't be misrepresented at all. And it's hard, because I think any content creator who was suffering from what I've suffered from, if any content creator got as large as I was, and there was as many people cutting up their videos as they were mine, and those people had a negative agenda, we could make Mickey Mouse look evil. You could make anyone look bad. I'm not saying—
To be fair, Mickey Mouse is evil. That's an evil ass nigga. Why is a rat that big?
I haven't
Whatever.
given them ammo. Of course, there's been the odd clip that made it easy for them. I'm saying if their intentions were to be as provocative and negative as possible, it can be done to anybody. And that's why now I need to take a break from all the podcasts I've been invited on, especially since I've been banned. I've been invited on the largest platforms in the world.
Okay, I like this. This I like. This I like. I like that he's giving awareness to the fact that while he is, I don't like using the word problematic, but while he is one of the most, let's just call him controversial. While he is one of the most controversial voices on the internet right now, you should also look at every single person who's platforming him that for the most part tries to give this analytical perspective about everything. I've seen people that vehemently disagree with this man make tons of space to have an open discourse and dialogue with him where they would otherwise shun someone else who did not have the same platform away. I love that in the midst of this entire thing is just more so exposed to people that have such a deep infatuation with numbers that they're willing to platform the same thing that they vehemently describe as problematic and that is harmful to the same demographics that they consider oppressed, the ones that they consider endangered. I like that he's acknowledging that to a degree. That don't mean that he don't have to change his communication or his verbiage, but I think that should be noted. Who's the slimy niggas that are giving him a platform to have a quote-unquote discourse that say that they disagree with the things that he says? Why are you saying this? Why are you platforming him at all if you could dunk on him so easily? I don't understand. Why do that?
I've had 100,000.
I'm not even talking about necessarily Aiden Ross. I don't really expect anything from Aiden Ross. I mean, he's Aiden Ross. That's not a diss. It's just like I don't expect anything from dude.
Emails of support. All the media channels want to talk to me. And I'm sitting here thinking, I need to make sure I'm not misunderstood. And I have to really be careful about how I do that while not backing down on my messaging, while still championing the things I champion, still believing in myself, but making sure I'm not misunderstood. And although I think on the internet I am one of the most respected oratists that exist, I now need to once again improve myself and improve my skills and prevent anybody being able to take me out of context. I might have to form a new way for sentences to be constructed.
You mean you might have to use one of your brain functions and think just a little bit longer, like maybe an additional 5 seconds? You might have to do that? I'm sorry. You making it seem like you got to go through a character evolution to be like, oh yeah, let me just not answer this question immediately. What would happen? What would happen if I didn't immediately come out with the first thing that came to my mind? What would happen if I waited 5 seconds? What would happen if I did a pause? Could change your life.
But if that's what it takes, that's
He does? There's no way.
what I intend to do. Because with great influence comes absolutely and utterly great responsibility. And I do understand that. And I will blame myself for the fact that people have managed to do this to me, regardless of the fact that I did not want it to happen. So let me give a quick example of this. Before I continue, I want to say
Feels like he's saying that just because someone hasn't been cancelled, means they haven't done bad things. But with him, there are so few redeeming qualities in comparison to cancel-worthy things that the imbalance is what made him the target, which he earned.
Fair.
that I often speak to the absolute beauty of women. I have a very healthy relationship with my mother. I have women around me who truly and utterly love me. I have very healthy relationships with females. I have no criminal charges for crimes against females. Nobody has come forward and accused me of sexual misconduct. Please understand, We'll go into the Romanian house raid shortly. But most people in my position of fame have had women come forward and say he raped me. I'm the most famous man on the planet. There's not a single female whose face you can name or whose face you can picture that's come forward and said I've raped her. Not a single female has come forward saying I've hurt her. Not one. There's a video from 10 years ago that showed me in a sexual act with one of my ex-girlfriends.
Okay, I've seen this. I've seen it already, bro. Maybe I should have played it. I mean, did anybody believe that? I don't know.
From my understanding. She has come forward and said that it was all just a game. And still, that video is being used and sent around the internet saying I'm a woman beater. If I said it was...
Okay, I'll play the girl's explanation, because I really need her to explain it to me. Because a nigga would film him, you know, abusing his girlfriend.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to say something about the video that's been released recently about me and my ex-boyfriend Andrew Tate. Andrew is my still great friend. What you guys saw in the video, it's just what we used to do. It was just pure game. He's a great guy. He would never hurt anyone unless he's fighting.
The left understand that kink shaming is a negative thing, from my understanding. She has come forward and said that it was all just a game. And still, that video is being used and sent around the internet saying I'm a woman beater. If I said it was a game, and she said it was a game, who are other people to then comment on our lives, our private lives, which got leaked, and tell us it's not a game? It was between two consenting adults, and we decided to do something ourselves, and we both agreed it was fine, and she has not come forward trying to accuse me of anything. So who are others to do that? That's just kink shaming, which that's all it is. So no women are accusing me of anything. No women are accusing me of misconduct. I champion women all the time. I say about how they should be protected, how beautiful they are, how much I love my grandmother because of the amount of children she had.
My grandmother had 9 children. There was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a room, a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
funny.
remarkable? That nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful.
I talk about how women are unique and special and they can do things that men can't do. And still these clips are taken.
I mean, I think that's great that that's the quality and the value that you saw in your grandmother. I would have liked to see your grandmother in a space and a time where she had more options. I would have liked to see what you would have thought of your grandmother if she would have been in a different time and had more options and more opportunities. That would have been nice. Who knows? I tell my mom, I didn't really have a great relationship with my grandmother, but I tell my mom all the time, like, I would have loved to see the type of person that you would have been if you didn't immediately have to, you know what I'm saying, come out the cut, working and doing everything that you had to do. You know what I'm saying? I would have liked to see what you would have wanted to do. You know what I mean? Shawn on first appearance, I guess, would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Out of context.
That would be bad.
Let me give you an example.
I absolutely not really love women. I have nothing against women. I believe women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life. They should be protected. They should be provided for. I would never let a woman pay for a bill. I would never let a woman, if someone touched any of my women, I would stand up against 10 men by myself and risk my life to protect her. I believe that women are beautiful creatures. It
sounds like you're protecting, it sounds like you're protecting a car. You're protecting a new item that you bought. It don't sound like you talking about a person.
just don't think that they're as emotionally calm as men in stressful situations. I don't think they can fight like a man can. And for the same reason, I would never drop my children.
Okay, Jay, like, bro, you commented one time. Nobody misses you. Nobody knows you and no one misses you. What have your comments been? Really lame behind the computer. Andrew Rate spoke nothing but facts, and these soft men try to react. He'll never human trafficking. He explained many times. I'm out of here. Okay, bye. Like, why? You just like this nigga, bro. You just like this nigga talking a whole bunch of shit that niggas don't give a fuck about. Get to the meat and potatoes. Get to the meat and potatoes, nigga.
An all-male nursery. I think that's strange and weird. I would only drop them in an all-female nursery. Women do certain things, and men
Nigga typed 4 messages in the chat and said, bye, y'all. Like, niggas, nobody even knows you typed.
do certain things.
Now, I believe everything I said. I believe in protecting women.
Nobody seen you?
I believe in making sure that women are provided for. However, that video was made when I was far less famous. In light of the things I just said to you earlier in this video, I understand that now, as my fame grows, even though to me my message is very clear, a man has certain roles in society, a woman has certain roles in society, and when we work as a team, when we love each other, society is better as a whole. I think that these views are not very controversial at all. I think they were mainstream only a few years ago. I don't think that they're controversial. Most of the people I meet in the world don't think they're controversial. The women I hang around with don't think they're controversial. Nobody on the street I've ever met thinks they're controversial. Everybody agrees with me. However, the way I'm saying it, the way I'm getting the message across, because I'm trying to be as energetic as possible, I understand that a small, tiny percentage of people might misunderstand me. And that didn't matter when I didn't have any views. I didn't have any followers. But now I'm the most famous man in the world. I have to be a lot more careful with how I say it. But what's really worrying is this. That clip, I would like to think, even my biggest haters can agree, is a clip that is positive about women as a whole. Perhaps you may not like my tonality or the way I structured certain sentences, but as a whole, I'm saying positive things about women. At one point during that speech, I said women do certain things and men do certain things. That clip has been taken, that cut of my language, men do certain things, women do certain things. Somebody, I have no idea who, has made a TikTok where it says men do certain things, and it shows videos of me driving around in cars, spending money, and women do certain things, and it shows women cleaning. Women do certain things, and men do certain things.
Bro, no one's gonna look at this and be like, he is the one who edited that. No one's gonna look at that and be like, I'm pretty sure most people who look at this TikTok, they're gonna look at it and be like, yeah, somebody put this together. You literally are in the clip talking about it, bro. Like this, if this is your evidence as to people taking you out of context because they clipped a TikTok video that is so clearly out of context. Nobody sat here and looked at this video and was like, oh yeah, that's what he meant. What?
Somebody off their own back, somebody else has.
This is what you use as your example for being taken out of context, bro?
Made that video. I didn't tell them to. I don't know who they are. I don't
Oh
know
my
what their account
God.
is. It's just viral on the internet somewhere. And now I look like I'm saying women should only clean and men should only run around with cars.
No, you don't. Literally, no one who's looking at that video is gonna be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he said that." What?
And women and money. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
And you're still acting like you saying that in the first place is weird. It isn't weird. Men do certain things, women do certain things. No shit.
said that women should be protected and provided for. But because a small clip was taken out of context and used against me and weaponized, now I look like I've said things I did not say.
Bro, that is not the clip that got you banned.
No matter how positive my message about women, if the intention is to try and make me look bad, even with a clip like that, they found a way to make me look bad. That's the scary thing. That's why I've titled this video My Final Message, because I don't know, even with my entire brain, I don't know with all of my genius intellect,
There's no way.
if I can find a way for nothing to be used against me. It's extremely difficult. One line out of context has made me look bad, and millions of people saw that, and people didn't see the long format video, and they've deduced that I hate women and that women should only clean, when really I was trying to stick up for and protect women and give my true views on women.
No, your true views on women are that you don't want a woman, you don't want a wife, you want a daughter. And a lot of you niggas, bro, who be on this, oh, I want to make sure my woman's by my side all the time. I got to protect her from the world. I got to protect her from the niggas. I got to make sure that they not, you know what I'm saying, on my bitch. I got to make sure that they not talking to my bitch. What are you afraid of? See, the problem is you think your woman is literally the exact same as something that you can break into. That's what you think. And so you feel like she can't give her own opinion or her own thought process on if another man decides that he wants to drive what you would probably describe as your car. You think that this woman that you got is the equivalent to a car, and you're afraid that another nigga could come in and break in and drive it whenever he feel like it. That's what you think. And so, in light of that, you feel the need to be around her all the time, controlling her every move. I got to make sure I show her this. I got to make sure I show her that. If she don't learn it from me, she going to learn it from some other nigga. Some other nigga doing maintenance on my car. I can't have that happen. Why are you so insecure? Why are you so like, I can't show her to the world. She got to be locked down at all times. This is the same shit that a father would say about his daughter. Not the way a husband would describe his wife, a man would describe his woman, a boyfriend would describe his girlfriend in any natural setting. What the fuck? I gotta be around my girl all the time for what? Y'all don't think that's weird? You think that's okay? You think that's not possessive? That's not crazy as fuck? The fuck is wrong with you, bro? You 35. What's wrong with you? You gotta be around her all the time? Damn.
And this comes full circle to the Instagram ban. I'm very understanding of why Instagram felt like it was.
And you know what's crazy? One more thing. You know what's crazy? This is the shit that really be making me mad about niggas. When they be like, oh, I'll protect my woman from any, I gotta protect her from the world. I gotta protect my woman from the world. That's what niggas like this say. And they won't say, I really gotta protect my girl from other men. I gotta protect my girl from other niggas. It's not that the world is a danger to my girl. It's men are a danger to my girl. And I'm telling other men that they need to be more manly. I'm telling them that they need to push all these emotions and all this trauma down. I'm telling them that they need to go and be a go-getter. They need to go and get every little thing. Never take no for an answer. Just don't do it to my bitch. Don't do it to my bitch. I just think it's weird. You're promoting the same nigga to grow to be the nigga that you would have to defend your girl against. Like you creating a problem for yourself. I just
necessary to ban it. I am not mad at Instagram. I'm a professional, and as a professional, I'm not an emotional person. I do not do emotional responses. Although I believe it's unfair, although I believe I've been unfairly vilified, although I believe it's not the right thing to do because it doesn't allow me to shift the public consciousness.
I'm just about to drill some holes in my head real
Although
quick.
I think it would have been better for me to say, Andrew, certain things are being taken out of context. You need to be careful that doesn't happen. A lot of people listen to you. And I could have become a champion for women's rights. I am not emotional. I understand why they did it. Because that's a perfect example of how people are desperate to try and make the things I say look worse than they are. And using social media platforms to purport negative views of women. And it doesn't matter if it's a negative view of a woman, negative view of men, negative view of a sexuality. It doesn't matter what it is. It should be stopped. I agree with that. And Instagram, or Meta, have a responsibility to show that they are listening to the public. They want to show that they are listening. I have some good people on the case, and dialogue with Instagram I would like to open, and we'll proceed as God sees fit. If God believes that I do not need an Instagram page, then I will not have one. If God believes I do, then I shall. This is not just about Instagram. This is just me saying to Instagram that I totally understand. I just wanted to make it clear that I didn't want these things to be said. That clip of the cleaning and me being taken out of context has no benefit for me. Everyone dislikes me on the internet. Certain people watch it and know it's not true. The ones who've watched the longer format stuff of my videos and they're fans of
There's
mine,
no way
fine.
this dude
So certain
actually
people remain
thinks.
neutral 'cause they know it's false. But people who don't then dislike me. My family gets death.
There's no way this dude actually thinks that people don't like him because of that cleaning
if I could
clip.
stop that happening, I absolutely would. Which is why I want to adjust my messaging and adjust the way I talk. I don't want that to happen. That doesn't help me. I would love for that to never happen. And Instagram think the way for that to stop happening is to ban me. I agree.
The keys to my Beamer.
I don't think banning
My
me is
bad.
the answer.
That was a
Because
bad accent.
there will always be someone else.
I think I
And there'll be a
speak
new
for
hate
all
mob
of us when
and
I
new
say that
out-of-context
we don't
videos.
want to
And
watch
this is a
Moby
problem which
rant
is
about
larger
his
than this. This isn't
insecurities any
problem. This is a
longer.
problem with
Moby?
short format video, short attention spans.
That's
nobody
fucked
looking
up.
into anything in detail. Things taken out of context. This is a really big problem.
I just can't believe he said the same thing this whole time.
On Instagram, absolutely no rules were broken. The infringements you would find on Instagram is in my comment section where thousands of people who were sent by random YouTubers who don't like me would come, threaten to kill me, mock my dead father, threaten to kill my brother, threaten to kill my family, threaten to find me. These were the only rule infringements on Instagram. Things written against me by other YouTubers telling them to go and do it. While all I wrote is poetry and on repeat, multiple times I said.
I don't know what he said that got him banned, to be fair. I know it wasn't that fucking video that he showed where I might have to do 1.5, bro. I know it wasn't that video where he's talking about the cleaning. There's no way that's the video that got him
If you're
banned.
going to defend me, do it respectfully. Even if people hate me, even if they're insulting me, don't insult them back. Hate doesn't beat hate. It just creates a brick wall. If somebody says they hate me,
I wish
explain
I
to them
wasn't
calmly
subbed
they don't
so
understand
I
the
could
context.
get
Show them
30
longer
ads
format
right
video.
now.
Show them how I stick up for marginalized people. Explain I'm a person of color and I've been marginalized in my childhood. Show them how I had a gay friend when I was a kid. Show them how I stick up for
Oh,
them.
no,
Don't
not
just
the
imply
gay
saying you're speaking
friend.
the truth. Don't fight hate with hate. I was encouraging all of my followers and all of my fans to be respectful people, even when sticking up for me. Once again, trying to turn negativity into positivity via social media. My Instagram had no infringements. That was the only anti-policy things on the page, things targeted against me. And I didn't really complain to Instagram because I wasn't taught as a person to go complaining to authority. I thought, this is the internet.
That's
how it
literally
works.
what you're
Just ignore
doing.
it. Don't worry about it. Soon the truth of your heart and your character will come through. Soon people will see the light and they'll change because that's the way the world is. People often flip-flop on issues. This is how things happen. The redemption arc is going to be beautiful. I really, truly believe that within a few years, people are going to understand that I'm a force for good in the world. And often, people say, well, don't have Tate as a male role model. There's better ones. Where are they? There are no other male role models. Because to inspire the youth of men, you need to be aspirational. They have to look at you and want to be like you. And there's no other male role models that have had the tenacity or the aggressiveness to have such a fantastic life as I have.
Bro, shut the fuck up. You're viewing male role models based off of who's the most poppin'. Everybody doesn't have to universally follow one person to have a role model, brother. If I'm your role model, bro, kill yourself. Fuck. Sometimes I be looking at myself like, bro, what the fuck? I wouldn't let that happen to me. And that's me. No, I was just playing in a video game. But nah, bro, like, come on. Nobody give a fuck about that. Now, in the same way that women, you know, shouldn't be held accountable for, you know, raising little girls that watch them do music videos and shit like that. I remember we went to church one day and niggas showed me, we went to church one day and niggas showed me a video of Sierra. And they're talking about, I remember they showed it to my girl cousin and my sister. And they had me in the room too to watch. And they talking about, see, this is the devil. You see this woman right here? She supposed to be setting an example for y'all. He was talking to them. I just happened to be there. I'm looking at the video. I'm like, you niggas just created a monster. You don't know what's going on right now. I'm about to be different. I ain't even hit puberty yet. You don't know what you just showed me. I'm him. Later today, though, when I figure out how this thing works, by thing, I mean my thing. I'm like, bro, you have no idea what you just did. The church made me a chronic master.
I just got here. How have you sat through 41 minutes of this and stayed sane?
I don't know, bro. We losing it right now. I almost revealed too much. That's cap. The whole story was cap.
That they're going to listen to me. They listen to me because of my authority, and my authority comes from my life experiences. If my mentality is so wrong, how have I managed to amass enormous wealth? How have I managed to amass huge social status? How have I managed to completely dominate the planet? I've done things that men respect, and they look up to me. So that's why I can lead them. And I understand my messaging should change in light of the fact that I can be taken out of context. But me being alive on the internet will allow me to lead men in a very positive direction. Banning me and deleting me leaves a black hole where they say there'll be another masculine leader. But the men don't listen. The youth of today won't listen to anybody else. That's the reason I'm the most famous man on the planet, because none of these other people have the authority to affect them like I do. It's me or nobody. And I truly believe...
Bro, you made niggas laugh, okay? You made niggas laugh unironically taking yourself seriously and saying the same shit that I used to say. Well, not me personally. I would laugh at it, though. The niggas used to say in Xbox Live chat, bro. Go make me a sandwich, bitch. The second they hear a woman come on the microphone. Are you a freak? What's your body count? Hey, what's a big dick to you? Like, you basically made a career out of saying some shit that niggas used to say when it was a time that you refer to as less PC. And you say it unironically, bro. It's the same shit. Do it fart is crazy.
That me, with reformed messaging, now understanding of my newfound fame, is so much better for the world than nobody. Because nobody just leads to black holes of who knows what, and it can't be controlled. And that's where the internet is truly dangerous. Speaking of Instagram, I was understanding in recent weeks of how these negative fictional stories...
I do look funny saying it up.
And I wanted to try very, very hard to counter them. I put a post on Instagram, which you can see here, where I explained that the things I've said have been taken out of context. And just because I champion men's rights does not mean I dislike women.
I'm just trying to give you a chance.
My banning, I had 550,000.
There's no way this nigga
want to do anything but spread hate. Right now they hate Andrew Tate. When I'm gone, hate. I'm a credible man of merit and value. If you're protect you, there's nothing wrong with being a tenacious, ambitious, tough man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with strength, mental and physical. These things are used to protect people, protect men and women. This is a protective state. You can't protect anything if you're not strong. Strength is a beautiful thing. The world is built on the backs of strong men, and I'm trying to teach men to be strong again because it makes the men feel happier inside.
The world is built off the backs of niggas who take advantage of niggas. You ain't gotta be strong to get the one up on a nigga. What the fuck? What you mean by that? Nigga said the world is built off the backs of strong men. No, nigga. Fuck is wrong with you? We be stealing shit.
It solves men's mental health, and it also makes the world a genuinely better place. People are taking my lessons and me trying to teach strength and misconstruing them, saying I'm trying to
ripping dirt.
Aggressive or aggressive. That's absolutely not the case. And at the same time, they're ignoring my charitable donations to the world. And at the same time, other media creators are rewarded for purporting lies and spinning lies about me. And then at the same time, the media buys into this. And at the same time, we're in the current situation where this entire storm has appeared, where I've genuinely only been a net positive on the world for anyone who's watched my content in all of its long form. When Instagram tells me and confirms to me the number of likes on that post, I'm going to make the donation. As well as that, the future for me, now that I will be a lot more careful and a lot more selective with the social media I'll be producing, if any at all, is I'm going to be starting a foundation, the Tate Foundation, which is going to be dedicated towards charitable acts of both genders. I have been very, very private about certain elements of my personal life, as has my brother. However, my brother has a daughter, and she's beautiful. She's my niece.
Why did you just say that?
I don't want her to grow up in a world where women are hated. I don't want to grow up in a world where men are oppressive and hurting women.
Why did you just say that? Did you just sit here and say, these lies are putting your family's lives at risk. These lies are putting your family's lives at risk. and then just expose your brother's daughter. Maybe that was already public. Hopefully that was already public. Okay, bro. What the fuck?
Why would I possibly want that? I want her to find a strong man who can protect her, who can provide for her, who can make sure she's safe, but I don't want anything bad to ever happen to her. My own personal circumstances regarding family are something that are once again confidential, but I can confirm to you that the last thing I would ever want is for women to be marginalized in the future, for genuine misogyny or sexism to take hold on the planet. I would completely and utterly be very unhappy with that for my own personal reasons. The Tate Foundation is going to be dedicated towards helping men's mental health and also protecting women from violence against men. You're going to see in the upcoming months and years that I'm not somebody who's doing this just for likes or doing this just for views, that I'm somebody who's doing this because he genuinely has the capability to help people. And I believed I was helping people via social media, and if that's going to be taken away from me, then I will continue my philanthropy in other realms. Please, if you want to have more information, you can go to cobratate.com, sign up to the emailing list, and my emailing list is going to start detailing all of my charitable acts from here on out. I'll be spending millions and millions of dollars on charitable acts for the rest of my human life. God has blessed me with fantastic wealth. It's more money than I will ever personally need. I already was doing my philanthropy through encouraging men. And if that's going to be destroyed, then I've decided to start the Tate Foundation and specifically help with financial aid, women, protection from violence primarily. I'm in Romania, which is very close to Ukraine, and there's a lot of problems there with violence against women and women trying to escape the country, and men's mental health issues. And this will all be detailed on my newsletter at cobratate.com, and I encourage people to follow. My other charitable acts are things that I haven't really advertised or talked about.
I think that's good. I think that's good. You should just fall back behind the scenes and get a spokesperson, bro.
I always felt a bit embarrassed to tell people about the charity I do, because when I do charity, I think it should be from the heart, not even tell anybody. I just rebuilt an orphanage and didn't as a man. I'm a personal responsibility.
I think all the philanthropy he's talking about is great.
Type of person, and I understand trafficker, and that's why I live in.
Even if it's not followed by an understanding of, what the fuck he's helping.
Mania. Firstly, that's a very, very racist attitude to have. I find it strange that the left and people who speak and talk about tolerance and inclusivity will assume that Romania as a country will allow me to be a rapist, or that Romania is the kind of place where rape is okay.
Okay, bro.
So upsetting.
Just right after my mom arrived.
I was swatted. Someone made a call about me, which was fake. The police responded, as they should. I would hate to live in a country where the police get a call that a woman's being held kidnapped, and to the correct conclusion that there's nobody here. And all the media, not one. It's just misunderstood clips on TikTok. Have their finger on the pulse of the world. Dedicate this YouTube channel, any other remaining social medias I have, my email list, and my Instagram, and my haters would have kept ignoring it and kept making negative videos about it. Very intrinsically understanding of these, about my philanthropy in the physical world, doing all the negative narratives, which try to teach people to stay away from low-quality, toxic people, and just try and... I have everything I've ever wanted. I've done that with... I was talking to Aiden Ross on his stream, and he said, have you completed the game? And I guess in a way I have.
And do you feel like you've beaten the game?
Oh my fucking god.
No, I've hacked the Matrix and completely beaten the game. I have everything. Charitable donations. That is a very, very difficult... Videos insulting a man and encouraging your viewers to go and insult him and his deceased father. I have no ill will against him. Will be curated in a way that there's various PR companies.
Holy shit. I literally did. That's fair. That's fair. I didn't watch the whole thing. But he just repeated himself for 38